The Reverend of Dibley brought laughter, joy, and warmth to millions of hearts. But what happened behind the scenes was sometimes more intense than any script. Some actors died suddenly, leaving behind unfinished careers and unforgettable roles. Who were they, and how heartbreaking were their final chapters? Let's remember and honor them. Let's explore. Liz Smith as Letitia Cropley. At the age of 73, Liz Smith took on the role of Letitia Cropley, an eccentric teacher known for her bizarre recipes that put the whole village on edge in The Vicar of Dibley, 1994-1996. Her character became an integral part of the series, transforming Liz from a familiar face on television into a comedy icon loved by millions. Born on 11th of December 1921 in Scunthorpe, Lincolnshire, Liz had a difficult and bereaved childhood. When she was just 2 years old, her mother died, leaving her to be cared for by her widowed grandmother in a small, cold house. She was forced to become independent early on, earning a living by doing everything from selling goods on the street to working in a candy store. Amidst the hardships, Liz found hope when she married Jack Thomas, a man she met while serving in the Royal Navy. But the joy was short-lived. Her marriage fell apart because of her husband's drug addiction and violence. The divorce forced her to raise 2 children on her own, facing financial hardship and social prejudice. During those years, she struggled to make ends meet while also supporting herself. Then, in her late 50s, an unexpected opportunity to act came her way, opening a new path that took her out of the shadows and into the art world. On 24th of December 2016, Liz Smith died in Worthing, West Sussex, aged 95. She left behind an estimated fortune of £4 million, the result of a late but explosive career. The image of the silver-haired woman with sparkling eyes and a mischievous smile remains on the screen, reminiscent of someone who has lived a turbulent life, but never forgets how to make others laugh. Trevor Peacock as Jim Trott. Trevor Peacock made a lasting impression as Jim Trott in The Vicar of Dibley, 1994-2015. At 63, he portrayed the awkward, absent-minded but charming Jim Trott, whose catchphrase, "No, no, no, yes," always made the audience laugh. The role is not only synonymous with Peacock, but also an integral part of the memorable memories surrounding the hit BBC sitcom. Born on May 19, 1931 in Tottenham, England, Peacock grew up in a country just emerging from war. With all the economic hardship that entailed, he experienced deep emotional pain, with 2 failed marriages and periods of raising children alone in difficult circumstances. The pressures of family and career led to habits such as smoking and drinking, which seemed harmless but gradually weakened his health. Despite this, Peacock continued to work hard in both acting and music, leaving his mark with the hit song Mrs. Brown, You've Got a Lovely Daughter, which topped the US Billboard charts in 1965. However, in 2009, when his career was still stable, he was diagnosed with dementia. The disease progressed rapidly, robbing him of his cognitive abilities, his ability to communicate, and even his memories of the accomplishments he had built. On March 8, 2021, Trevor Peacock died in Yeovil, England at the age of 89. His net worth was estimated at £1.5 million, a reward for decades of dedication to stage, television, and music. Although his terminal illness has erased his memories, his artistic legacy remains vivid, a lasting reminder that his laughter and music will continue to resonate for years to come. John Bluthal as Frank Pickle. John Bluthal left an indelible mark on audiences around the world with his portrayal of Frank Pickle, the meticulous but delightfully absent-minded parish council clerk in The Vicar of Dibley, 1994-2013, a role he took on at the age of 65. He brought the verbose and charming Frank Pickle to life, turning dull parish meetings into some of the series' most memorable moments. The image not only brought laughter but also became a familiar symbol for fans of British sitcoms. Born on August 12, 1929 in Jeziorzynie, Poland, Bluthal's childhood was tumultuous as war and anti-Semitism spread across Europe. In 1938, at the age of 9, he and his family fled to Australia to escape persecution, beginning a difficult life in exile. Poverty forced John to work from a young age to support his family, forging his resilience but also leaving deep emotional scars. As an adult, he married actress Judith Barron, but their marriage ended in divorce, leaving him to raise their children alone under financial and professional pressure. Tragedy struck again when a serious car accident caused a spinal injury, forcing him to retire from the stage and suffer from chronic pain for many years. His habit of smoking and drinking socially in the art world further strained his heart health. However, with a persistent passion for art, Bluthal made a comeback, appearing in everything from classic Spike Milligan comedies to Hollywood blockbusters like Casino Royale, a testament to the enduring appeal of an artist who persevered through adversity. On November 15, 2018, John Bluthal passed away in New South Wales, Australia, at the age of 89. His net worth is estimated at $2 million, the result of more than 6 decades of tireless work in international theater, television, and film. His passing has left a huge void in the hearts of his fans, especially since it came just 2 years after he lost his lifelong partner. Gary Waldhorn as David Horton. At 51, Gary Waldhorn is forever remembered for his role as David Horton, the conservative but charismatic chairman of the parish council in Dibley Cathedral, from 1994 to 2020. He portrayed a rigid and patriarchal character with a subtle sense of humor, creating a perfect contrast with the female priest Geraldine Granger. The interaction between the two characters became one of the decisive factors that made the series deeply loved. Born on July 3, 1943 in London to a family of Austrian Jewish origin, Waldhorn grew up in an atmosphere of dark memories of wartime. His father, who had served as a translator for German prisoners of war, brought with him the tensions and haunting stories of that period, filling Waldhorn's childhood with a persistent sense of insecurity. As an adult, he found stability in his marriage to Christy Dickinson, but after their only son left home, loneliness began to creep into his life. His stage career required a grueling schedule that drained him year after year. Tragedy was compounded in 2019, when his mother passed away after a long illness, leaving him with a deep void in his final years. On January 10, 2022, Gary Waldhorn died in London at the age of 78. His net worth is estimated at $3 million, largely from his iconic role in the play Vicar of Dibley and endorsement deals. Although he has passed away, the image of David Horton, tough but still full of dignity, still lives on, reminding us of an actor who devoted all his heart and energy to art. Roger Lloyd Pack as Owen Newitt. At the age of 50, Roger Lloyd Pack took on the role of Owen Newitt, the straightforward but humorous farmer in the play Vicar of Dibley, 1994-2007. He transformed the rustic, sometimes eccentric but surprisingly warm Owen into a memorable character, in stark contrast to the image of the vicar Geraldine. Lloyd Pack was also a key figure, slowly but surely in Only Fools and Horses, a role that cemented his status as a British cultural icon. Born on 8 February 1944 in Islington, London, Roger Lloyd Pack grew up in an artistic but not without turbulence. His father, the actor Charles Lloyd Pack, was both the inspiration for his career and the person he parted with too soon when he died in 1983. The loss left a deep emotional void and sent him into a long-term depression. Overcoming this grief, Lloyd Pack faced other challenges: 2 failed marriages and the responsibility of raising a child alone under financial and professional pressure. His health gradually deteriorated due to his long-term smoking and drinking habits, indulgences from his youth that later contributed to his diagnosis of pancreatic cancer. Even when he was ill, he continued to work, trying to maintain his public image until his health finally failed. On the 16th January 2014, Roger Lloyd Pack died in London at the age of 69. His net worth was estimated at £5 million, largely from his role as Trigger in Only Fools and Horses, as well as appearances in films such as Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire and various television projects. He was buried at Highgate Cemetery, where fans still visit to pay their respects. Terry Wogan as himself. Terry Wogan gave a memorable performance in the 1998 play The Vicar of Dibley at the age of 60, portraying himself with the natural charm and poise that has endeared him to audiences for decades. Known for his warm, witty presenting style, he brought a unique sense of intimacy and charm to the show, making viewers feel both close to him and curious about his real-life self. Born on August 3, 1938 in Limerick, Ireland, Terry Wogan grew up in a strict Catholic family where discipline and faith permeated every aspect of life. His childhood was shaped by rigid teachings, but also by personal losses that forced him to mature quickly. Before finding his calling in broadcasting, Wogan worked in banking and endured life changes, including a broken marriage that left him raising his children alone. The pressures of the job, coupled with his long-standing smoking and drinking habits, gradually took their toll on his health, a hidden cost of a lifetime of dedication to his craft. On January 31, 2016, Terry Wogan passed away in Berkshire, England at the age of 77 after a battle with prostate cancer. His net worth is estimated to be exactly $25 million. This was the culmination of a distinguished career in radio and television. Although he is gone, his voice, humor, and warmth will live on in the memories of those who welcomed him through the years. Richard Armitage as Harry Kennedy. Richard Armitage captured the hearts of the Vicar of Dibley audiences when he appeared in 2006 at the age of 35 as Harry Kennedy, the real-life prince who won the heart of Vicar Geraldine Granger. Despite only appearing in the final episodes, his character became one of the series' most beloved and romantic highlights, bringing a sweet and emotional conclusion to Geraldine's journey. Born on August 22, 1971 in Leicester, England, Armitage grew up in a modest family with his father working as an engineer and his mother working as a secretary. His childhood was spent in the peaceful Leicestershire countryside, where he discovered his passion for the arts by playing the cello and performing in school plays. However, alongside that passion came challenges. As a shy child with few friends, Armitage often felt pressured to express himself through music and acting. After graduating, Armitage was determined to pursue his artistic ambitions by enrolling at the London Academy of Music and Dramatic Art. He spent years as a stage actor on an irregular income, working everything from waitering to teaching music to make ends meet. These difficult years forged the resilience and emotional depth that would later define his on-screen charisma. In 2025, at the age of 54, Richard Armitage is still busy acting and voiceover work and is considered one of Britain's finest audiobook narrators. His net worth is estimated at £15 million, having been built on notable roles such as Thorin Oakenshield in the Hobbit trilogy and Netflix series The Stranger. For fans of the Vicar of Dibley, the image of Harry Kennedy smiling happily at his wedding to Geraldine remains an iconic moment. Preston Lockwood as Vicar Pottle. Preston Lockwood made an unforgettable impression when he played Vicar Pottle in The Vicar of Dibley in 1994 at the age of 82. Although he only appeared in the first episode, the scene where his character suddenly died in the middle of a ceremony became a pivotal moment that opened the main storyline of the show, a mix of humor and surprise that the audience will never forget. Born on October 30th, 1912 in Essex, England, Lockwood grew up in a poor working-class family, with his father working as a bus driver and his mother as a housewife. Coming from a humble family, he had to work manual jobs from a young age to support his family. But his love of the stage inspired him to pursue an artistic career. As a young man, he married a woman he loved deeply, but the marriage eventually fell apart after years of strain, leaving him to raise his children alone while dealing with financial pressures and a demanding performance schedule. His grief was further deepened when his ex-wife died in a family accident, plunging him into a period of great loss. Years of smoking took their toll on his health, but he remained steadfast on stage and screen, seeing acting as the only thing that kept him going. On April 24, 1996, Preston Lockwood died in London at the age of 83. His net worth was estimated at exactly £500,000, largely from supporting roles on radio and television. For those who have seen him perform, his image remains a beautiful memory, proving that even the shortest roles can leave a deep impression. Dawn French as Geraldine Granger. Dawn French made a lasting impression on audiences when she took on the role of Vicar Geraldine Granger in the legendary sitcom The Vicar of Dibley in 1994 at the age of 37. With her wit, intelligence, and warmth, she not only brought laughter but also conveyed profound messages about community and human kindness. Beyond the spotlight, the role became an integral part of her artistic journey, cementing her status as an icon of British comedy. Born on October 11, 1957 in Holyhead, Wales, Dawn French grew up in a military family, but her childhood was marred by tragedy. In 1977, at the age of 19, her father, her constant support and source of encouragement, committed suicide after a long battle with depression, leaving her with a trauma that lasted for decades. In her personal life, she was married to comedian Lenny Henry and raised daughter Billy together. However, after 25 years of marriage, their relationship ended in 2010 amid allegations of infidelity and deep-seated differences. Facing life as a single mother, she continued to work tirelessly while battling poor health due to poor eating habits and occasional injuries, including a minor car accident. Her loss was further deepened when her mother died in 2012, closing a deeply painful chapter. As of 2025, at the age of 68, Dawn French is still active in the entertainment industry, still appearing in public with her trademark charm. Her net worth is estimated at £10 million, largely from Vicar of Dibley and her best-selling books. To her fans, she is a symbol of resilience and spiritual strength. James Fleet as Hugo Horton. James Fleet made a lasting impression on audiences when he played Hugo Horton, the kind but clumsy son of the parish council chairman in the legendary comedy The Vicar of Dibley in 1994 when he was 42. This role, along with his success in 4 Weddings and a Funeral, cemented James Fleet's image as a charming, warm character and became an integral part of fans' memories. Born on March 11, 1952 in Bilston, England, Fleet faced a devastating loss at an early age when his father died at the age of 10. The tragedy forced him and his mother to move to Aberdeenshire to start anew. The absence of a father figure shaped a withdrawn and introverted boy, but also nurtured a quiet strength within him. In 1984, he married actress Jane Booker, a love that has endured decades of work pressures, constant touring, and moments of emotional stress. Despite his efforts to balance family life and career, Fleet's health has been plagued by public smoking and an unexpected stage accident, which forced him to take a break from acting before returning to the spotlight with new roles. As of 2025, at the age of 73, James Fleet is still actively working on new projects, including his role as King George III in the hit series Bridgerton. His net worth is estimated at £3 million, largely from 4 Weddings, a Funeral, and the play The Vicar of Dibley. To the public, Fleet is not only a talented actor but also a symbol of resilience. Richard Griffiths as Bishop Mulberry. At the age of 52, Richard Griffiths appeared in The Vicar of Dibley in 1999 as Harry, a witty and insightful friend who brought a rare blend of depth and sophistication to the film. His performance had a special charm that not only added to the film's appeal but also piqued curiosity about the man behind the brilliant on-screen talent. Born on July 31, 1947 in Thornaby-on-Tees, England, Richard Griffiths had a challenging childhood. Both his parents were deaf, forcing him to learn sign language at a young age to communicate with his family. At the age of 8, he underwent radiotherapy to his pituitary gland, a medical decision that was intended to stimulate growth, but which resulted in a lifelong metabolic disorder that led to chronic obesity. His distinctive physique made him a target for ridicule and bullying, leaving him with deep emotional scars. However, this pain quietly forged his extraordinary ability to embody a character with strength and subtlety, allowing him to create characters with great emotional weight on both stage and screen. On 28 March 2013, Richard Griffiths died in Coventry at the age of 65 following complications from heart surgery. He left behind an estimated fortune of 5 million towers, but more importantly, he left behind an artistic legacy that will live on in the hearts of audiences. His warm smile, kind eyes, and resonant voice are as vivid in memory as if he were still there playing the characters that defined his career. Emma Chambers as Alice Tinker. Emma Chambers left an unforgettable mark on audiences through her role as Alice Tinker in the play The Vicar of Dibley, 1994-2007, a role she took on at the age of 30. She transformed Alice into a comedy icon, innocent, eccentric, but extremely lovable. The on-screen chemistry between Alice and the vicar, Geraldine Granger, not only brought laughter, but also created warm, touching moments, making the character an integral part of the film and in the audience's memories. Born on March 11, 1964 in Doncaster, England, Chambers grew up in a family of medical professionals but faced serious health problems from a young age. She suffered from severe animal allergies and chronic asthma, which affected her daily life and caused her to be hospitalized several times. However, her passion for acting drove her to take to the stage and screen despite these limitations. Her marriage to actor Ian Dunn later fell apart, leaving Chambers living a rather quiet and lonely life. The pressure of work, combined with unhealthy eating habits, gradually affected her health, silently paving the way for heart problems. At the height of her career, these factors became a major burden, but Chambers continued to maintain a professional image in front of audiences until she retired from the spotlight. On the 21st February 2018, Emma Chambers died suddenly in Leamington of a heart attack at the age of 53. Her net worth is estimated at $3 million, largely from her roles as Alice in The Vicar of Dibley and Honey in Notting Hill. Her passing has left a deep sadness among her colleagues and fans, but the laughter and warmth she brought to every role remains a strong testament to Emma Chambers' extraordinary talent and spirit.